In Japan, they have a proverb: first impressions rule the mind. And when you see the Mitsubishi 3000 GT for the first time, you'll understand what they mean. Here is a car with all the poise and agility of a Ferrari. When Mitsubishi's engineers started to design the 3000 GT, they had one intention in mind: to build a world beater. Their strategy was simple: to build a sports car that combined predictable, exciting performance with a very high level of safety under all conditions. 14 feet 11 inches in overall length and weighing in at 1.7 metric tons, this car is no lightweight. High tensile steel has been used extensively throughout the car's construction, and safety features highly on its overall design. The brakes are ABS, the doors feature special side protection bars to guard against side impact, and the driver's wheel is even fitted with an airbag, as standard. Active aerodynamics, active suspension, permanent four-wheel drive and four-wheel steering combine to make this one of the most technically advanced production cars available in the world. But more of that in a second. If we open the bonnet, we can see the reason for the 3000 GT's incredible performance. 3 litres, 24 valves, twin turbos, twin intercoolers. In fact, a pair for each bank of the V6 engine. Linked to electronically controlled multi-point fuel injection, this engine produces a massive 281 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPM. The power-to-weight ratio works out at 162 bhp per tonne, one of the reasons, given its size and weight, that it covers the ground so remarkably quickly. A perfect blend of form and function. Looking at this engine, you'd think it was actually sculpted to follow the lines of the car. And there's something else that's unusual for a big league supercar: a transversely mounted engine. Feeding the power to all 4 wheels makes wheel spin and tyre slip far less of a problem, especially in wet and slippery conditions. And 4-wheel drive also lets you exploit the car's full performance without having to worry about violent changes in handling characteristics when cornering at gung-ho speeds. All this control and pliancy is managed by a centre differential, which splits the power so slightly more goes to the rear wheels than the front. A viscous coupling unit senses any difference between front and rear wheel speeds and then compensates automatically by reducing the velocity of the faster wheels. Simply put, adhesion is incredible. Millbrook's Proving Ground is one of the few places where you can legally approach the 3000 GT's maximum speed, which has been limited to 155 miles per hour. The 0 to 60 dash comes up in a blistering 5.6 seconds. So here we go. Just to show you how much torque is available from this engine, here we are pulling a lazy 3,500 RPM, and it's an effortless 100 miles an hour. Mitsubishi's engineers have also incorporated 4-wheel steering into the 3000 GT, learned from their experiences of the Gallant in international rallying. You may recall that the Gallant was the first Japanese car to win the Lombard RAC Rally back in 1989. Now, the 4-wheel steering cuts in at 31 miles per hour and has a maximum steering angle of 1.5 degrees, and it works like this. It's both active and passive. In its active mode, it responds directly to steering inputs from the driver. So in other words, the harder you tug on the wheel, the greater the angle of rear wheel steering. In its passive mode, it responds to external forces such as a change in road camber or a very strong crosswind, things which normally the driver would have to compensate for by steering the wheel. When you're sitting behind the helm of the 3000 GT, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were in the cockpit of a jet fighter. All the primary controls fall very readily to hand, and you've got angled instrumentation right in front of your eye line, such as the turbo boost gauge, the oil pressure gauge, and the engine temperature gauge. Now on the left-hand side of the speedometer binnacle, you've got a button marked ECS. Now this controls the car's electronic suspension system. There are two modes, Sport and Tour. If it's set on Sport, the car's suspension firms up for fast driving. If it's set on Tour, it allows the electronic computer to vary the damping rates between soft, normal and hard, depending on the road speed. Wide enough to roll a cricket pitch, these Dunlop SP Sport 8060s are 225 by 50, sitting on massive 17-inch rims. The tread pattern is designed to reduce the two components of tyre noise, high frequencies in the centre, low frequencies on the shoulder. But now back to the cockpit. The interior has been thoughtfully designed as a 2+2 with contoured bucket seats for the occasional rear seat passenger. They fold flat individually as well for even greater luggage space. Both front seats are leather-faced, and the gear lever and steering wheel are hide-covered as well. The driver's seat is electrically adjustable in no less than 5 different modes. It's even got electronic lumbar support, but the best bit are these little side wings, which clamp you in your seat firmly like a bear hug. For effortless cruising, the 3000 GT is fitted with a cruise control, and this holds the car's speed constant, no matter what the gradient. But all you need to do is touch the brake or the clutch, and you're back in charge immediately. This colourful icon display down here tells you the exact status of the car's temperature system. You just press one button to set the temperature, and another button in which direction you want the air to go, and the computer does the rest. Both door mirrors are electrically adjustable and heated, and there's another computer, this time known as ETAX, which controls several of the car's crucial functions, one of the most interesting of which are the windscreen wipers, which speed up the faster you go. In the unlikely event of you ever getting bored, there's a 6-speaker Clarion radio cassette and CD to play with. Load in 6 CDs, and then call up your favourite one at the press of a button. And here's another feature which is unique to the 3000 GT. By pressing this button, we can manually override the car's computerized active aero system. The rear spoiler changes its angle by 14 degrees, and out of sight of the driver at the front of the car, the air dam moves down by 2 inches. I'll explain why in a moment. To give greater adhesion the faster you go, that front air dam speeds up the flow of air beneath the car and creates a sort of low pressure zone underneath, which forces the car downwards. By increasing the angle of the back spoiler, rear end body lift is reduced. Now both spoilers deploy at 50 miles an hour and retract at 31 miles an hour. And that makes the 3000 GT the first production car in the world to feature such advanced aerodynamic management. And what, I hear you ask, about reliability? Suffice it to say, the 3000 GT has already been doing sterling service in the USA and Japan since 1990 with no problems. And for reassurance, it comes with one of the best warranties in the business. 3 years unlimited mileage, 6 years anti-corrosion perforation warranty, and even a 3-year pan-European breakdown warranty. And all that adds up to cast-iron peace of mind. So, this motor car is fast, elegant, sophisticated and refined, fit to take on the world. The Japanese have another proverb. The road of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So whatever the length of the journey you take in the 3000 GT, rest assured you'll get there safely, comfortably,